Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you for joining in. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshuram militam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Caitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rūpa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swāmīniti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात देश तारिणे हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. I'll just quickly share the screen with you all. So last time we completed the sixth shloka and now we are on to the seventh shloka. Syat Krishna Nama Charitadi Sitapi Avidya Pittopatana Rasanasya Cha Rochikano Kintwadarat Anudim Khalos Swai Swadvika Kramad Bhavati Tadgadamula Hantri. So Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī is saying that the holy name, character, pastimes and activities of Krishna are all transcendently sweet like sugar candy. Although the tongue of one afflicted by jaundice of avidya or ignorance cannot taste anything sweet, it is wonderful that simply by carefully chanting these sweet names every day, a natural relish awakens within his tongue and his disease is gradually destroyed at the root. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The holy name of Lord Krishna, his qualities, pastimes, and so forth are all of the nature of absolute truth, beauty, and bliss. Naturally, they are very sweet like sugar candy, which appeals to everyone. Knee science, however, is compared to the disease called jaundice, which is caused by bilious secretions. Attacked by jaundice, the tongue of a diseased person cannot palatably relish sugar candy. Rather, a person with jaundice considers something sweet to taste very bitter. Avidya or ignorance similarly perverts the ability to relish the transcendently palatable name, quality, form, and pastimes of Krishna. Despite this disease, if one with great care and attention takes to Krishna consciousness, chanting the holy name and hearing Krishna's transcendental pastimes, his ignorance will be destroyed and his tongue enabled to taste the sweetness of transcendental nature of Krishna and his paraphernalia. Such a recovery of spiritual health is possible only by the regular cultivation of Krishna consciousness. So if you see, Prabhupada is very expert or Prabhupada is very timely, he knows which analogy to apply where. So over here, he's giving a very good, analogy over here. Of course, Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī has given this analogy, but Śrīla Prabhupada has elaborated it more for us to actually understand it more better. So, this particular shlok is completely on chanting the holy names of the Lord, the importance of chanting, the sweetness of chanting, why a person should chant and why a person chants and why a person is not able to chant, and what are the pitfalls or what are the challenges when a particular person is not able to chant. See, somebody who has come in the movement from many, many years, but does not have taste in chanting. He comes to the temple, or she comes to the temple, and it's been a quite some time, maybe 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. This person has been coming regularly, even giving services also regularly. But this particular person does not have taste in chanting. Why is this so? The prime reason for this is that he does not have faith in chanting the holy names of the Lord. And because he or she does not have faith in chanting the holy names of the Lord, so on and off, they keep on chanting. Like today, they will chant some few rounds, tomorrow, they might not, or maybe a little less. And the day after tomorrow, they might really chant 64 rounds. So it is like a whimsical thing, it's not a committed chanting. Of course, they are moving, you know, in the movement and they are doing, but there is no commitment as such in that relationship with Krishna. Like, for example, uh, when I rent a house, then I'm committed to pay a fixed amount of rent to the landlord, right? I cannot say that this month I'll pay, 500 and the next month I'll pay 50,000 and the following month I'll pay only 15,000. No, whatever is the amount agreed during the agreement, right? We agree, na? Both parties agree that, okay, I will give this much rent and this much electricity bill, right? Both parties agree that, yes, this is my house I've given to you. And okay, this is the amount that I'm expecting from you. And both agree, they sign also and everything. Now, if the tenant does not give the committed amount of rent to the landlord, what will the landlord do? Definitely, the landlord will say that, you please move out. If you don't want to give the rent, this is the agreement, and you're not abiding by the agreement. Similarly, when we have taken initiation from a bona fide spiritual master, on the day of initiation, we have committed, we have made an agreement. And when we made a commitment, that was the time when our spiritual masters uh, introduced us formally to Krishna. Krishna formally recognizes us as a disciple of so and so person, and Krishna now becomes binded to help us, whoever is the disciple. Okay, there are many disciples as such. So then, if I have made a commitment that, okay, I'll be chanting 16 rounds and 25 rounds on Ekadashi as such, then we should abide by that commitment till the end of our lives, till we don't leave this body. Right? See, sometimes in the life of Grihasthas, there are many ups and downs. But I always say, and my Shiksha Guru always used to tell us that, see, whatever you do in this first year of Krishna consciousness that you have come in, this will become your samskaras till the end of your life. So he was very particular about we attending Mangala Aarti and chanting 16 rounds and reading Srila Prabhupada books and preaching and book distribution. These were 4-5 things he was expecting from us, nothing beyond this as such. Whether you give donations, you don't give donations, he was really not bothered about that. But he had actually, given us that key or that mantra that if you want to sustain in this movement, so right from the onset of Krishna consciousness, you make it your habit. That habit only becomes our character one day, right? As in when we keep on advancing and as in we can practicing as such, right? So when he had told this, we took it to heart. And see, and those all who have taken it to their heart, okay? It's not only we, there are lakhs and millions of people who have actually taken up to their heart. So then for them, like even if I actually speak to Śrīla Prabhupada's disciples, they also tell me the same thing. They tell us that we have taken it to our heart, and do or die, we wake up early in the morning, we chant our rounds, we do our reading, we go out for book distribution. These are some basic things which Prabhupada actually was expecting from us. And apart from that, of course, in Grihastha life, they said that we do have challenges. It's not like that we don't have challenges. we have many challenges being Grihasthas. But all in all, our life is centered around Krishna and Srila Prabhupada's instructions. Right? So if somebody is revolving his life around Krishna, so everything he is doing for Krishna, keeping Krishna in the center. Okay, I'm going out for what am I going out? Maybe I'm going to buy something. Going to buy some fruits, some vegetables. Okay, I'll be, best of best fruits I'll buy, best of best vegetables I'll buy because this is going to be offered to Krishna, right? Or if somebody is going to his work, job, somebody's doing work from home also. So how best he can utilize his time in Krishna consciousness. So the other day I was reading one of the articles by one of the devotees, and he was saying that we have Navada Bhakti, 9 types of devotional service: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam. No. So when will Shravanam and Kirtanam be strong? So if you have 9 bogies, or if you have a big train, okay, and there are 9 bogies, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, like that. But somebody might ask, okay, these bogies are there, but who is the engine then? So that engine is actually sadhu sangha or devotee association. The driving force for Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam is actually sadhu sangha. In the association of devotees, we can advance very, very quickly and very rapidly also. So that will be our actually, that our anchor is actually, we anchor our life towards Krishna. Wherever you are there, you just, try to see by this particular act, how will I be able to please Krishna? From a material point of view, that act might look very mundane, but deep down within our hearts, we can Krishnaize it. We can make that activity or act as Krishna consciousness. Whether it be walking, whether it be talking, whether it be cooking, whether it be business, whether it be exchanging money in return of some goods, whether it be, handling family relationships, near and dear ones, friends, everywhere we can see that how can I Krishnaize this particular act? Or how can I bring Krishna in this particular relationship between me and my friend, me and my relatives, me and my wife, me and my husband, me and my children? How can I bring Krishna in the center? How can I make Krishna as the goal of my life? How can I make Krishna or please Krishna every moment? So, when one is chanting the holy names of the Lord, when is reading the pastimes of Krishna, see, when somebody is reading the pastimes, definitely the name, qualities, form automatically will be there in front of our eyes. And then when we chant with that vow, then immediately while chanting also, अभी तक मेरे साथ ऐसा नहीं हुआ है. It's not happened with me that when I'm chanting, I remember the pastimes of the Lord or something, or the form of the Lord. Sometimes, yes, quality does come that Krishna, you're so merciful, I'm able to chant, and we have gratitude. And we know that what are Krishna's qualities, so we try to appreciate those qualities also. His quality of being merciful, Bhakta Vatsal, Saragrahi, or his quality of reciprocating with his devotees. Because Krishna is a very solidly reciprocating God. He reciprocates with you every second. If you are doing something, every second he's reciprocating with you. It's not like that Krishna reciprocates only for 1 minute or 10 minutes or 1 hour. No, he's reciprocating with us 24 by 7. If I am Krishna conscious 24 by 7, then those 24 by 7, he's reciprocating with us. Maybe we might not really realize that how he's reciprocating with us, but we do get a glimpse of that realization sometimes that yes, Krishna is there. Krishna is in his holy name. Krishna is there in his Archa Vigraha form. Krishna's mercy is there in this garland. Krishna's mercy is there in his prasad. Sometimes we do get these realizations, but if somebody is not chanting only the holy names of the Lord, somebody who's not in a committed relationship with Krishna, then uh, you know this this holy name, which is very very sweet like sugar candy, but because I am in ignorance, I am in nescience, and I am in a diseased condition of life, or in a diseased situation, right? That is why I am not able to relish that sweet sugar like uh, name of the Lord. And see, if you must have seen, some people, they, no matter what you tell them, they don't like to chant because so much of ignorance is filled that the person is not ready to accept only, or the person does not have faith only in the holy name, that this holy name is only going to take me to the lotus feet of Krishna. This holy name is only my visa, ticket, whatever it is, to, Golok Vrindavan. And that is why sometimes people don't like to chant. People feel very, bored chanting. People, during chanting time, they yawn, they keep moving here and there, they talk to somebody, they chat with somebody, or morning they will keep on scrolling their YouTube shorts during morning chanting hours. They do come to the temple, but they are like scrolling, keep on scrolling their, mobiles and all. One thing I always tell most of the people that don't bring your mobile. There's no die-hard, you know, necessity early in the morning for anybody contacting you. And if anybody has to contact you, His Holiness Bhakti Brihad Bhagavat Maharaj says that they will find out where you are and they will contact you automatically. If it is their need, then automatically they will contact you. जिसको जरूरत होगी वो अपने आप ही आपको कांटेक्ट कर लेगा. So that is why when we don't have sufficient amount of faith or shraddha, see, shraddha also now, when you do sadhu sang daily, then that shraddha develops to, or fructifies or matures to nishtha. But shraddha, if it is, very komal, so then anybody can, drift you away. But as in when you keep on chanting, see, at least we have to have that patience. Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī says that I'm not going to get Krishna in 1 year, 2 years, 20 years, 25 years, or 30 years. It's a process. Okay. And if we follow the process, then definitely you get the result. Like, for example, in a particular factory, there is a process of making biscuits, right? That you first put, the flour, and then you put the sugar and the essence and everything, and then they knead it, and then, the final product comes in a form of a biscuit which is already labeled on the biscuit, right? So it is a process. If we don't follow any one of the process, then it will not work, right? Because there is a recommended process by the Shastras, by the Acharyas. Now, if I don't follow the process and I do something else, right? Some people like to read, some people like to do Shravanam. But see, 99.9% of my devotional life depends on chanting. And we have heard this many times. The 99.9% of my devotional life depends on chanting means this activity is so important. And why this activity is so important? Why this action is so very important? Because when we are chanting the holy names of the Lord, at that point of time, we are begging for service. Attentively, when we are chanting, so we are giving full attention, we are giving a full committed attention to that particular relationship. Now, whatever is required for that relationship to be pushed ahead is that 1%. And then when with that 1% we do it nicely, then the 99.9% we can do it more better. So if I'm chanting, I'll get good services. And if I'm chanting, then I will be able to put my heart into any service that I'm doing. I'll be able to put my heart in reading. I'll be able to put my heart in hearing. I'll be able to put my heart in making garlands. I'll be able to put my heart in cooking. I'll be able to put my heart in book distribution. Otherwise, what is going to happen is that we are half-heartedly actually in that relationship. आधे मन से हम उस रिलेशनशिप में हैं. So while we are chanting, I'm developing my relationship with Krishna, and see, my relationship has broken from so many lifetimes. We cannot expect that within a year or 2 or 10 years, 20 years, this relationship will mend again. तोड़ने के लिए 1 सेकंड भी नहीं लगता है कोई रिलेशनशिप, बट जोड़ने के लिए पूरी जिंदगी लग जाती है. To you connect with somebody, it takes a lot of and it takes a lot of time investment also in any relationship. Now if you see, in your school you must be having very good friends, right? Why? Because you invested so much of your daytime, 8 hours, 9 hours in school. You invested with your friends and you became best friends. So that and because you spend time, you became best friends, and because you became best friends, now anything happening to you, that best friend is always there with you, at least during that school time, right? I'm talking about, right? Same with Krishna. Same with Krishna. जितना हम अपना टाइम इन्वेस्ट करेंगे, हमारा रिलेशनशिप फैलेगा, फूलेगा और बहुत अच्छी महकने लगेगा. Recently we had His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu for book distribution, and he was telling that relationship actually has a fragrance. And when you take that fragrance of that relationship with Krishna and then you hit the road or you give a class or something, then that fragrance you're passing down to the next generation or to the others also. So this particular relationship between me and Krishna is such a beautiful relationship because when you invest time, okay, it becomes very beautiful. And ये जो रिश्ता है ये महकने लगता है. It has a different fragrance that all the time you would like to think only about, Krishna. All the time. That how can I please Krishna? Now, and see, we learned the Bhagavad Gita, right? So in the Bhagavad Gita, many places Krishna has said that if you do this, you are dear to me. If you do this, you're dear to me. And Krishna also has given so many relationship mm, goals also. People talk about, husband-wife relationship goals and all that. Krishna has given us relationship goals in the Bhagavad Gita only. How can you develop your relationship with me? So that relationship will blossom, and that relationship, see, to the degree we are surrendered and we have faith in the holy name, to that degree that relationship will blossom. And once it blossoms, and it's a continuous process, okay? It's not like that abhi ye blossom ho gaya, bas now finish, no. It's it's a commitment for eternity. It's not that only just because I want to go back to Godhead, I will have relationship with Krishna. No, I will have this relationship with Krishna even when I go back home, back to Godhead. Even when I'm there, I will not say, oh, wow, now I've reached, finished. Now my goal is over. I wanted to reach, I wanted to get rid of birth, death, old age, and disease. No. In fact, there is a word called vriddhi. Vriddhi means increasing, that relationship, it keeps on increasing day by day, and it blossoms. It actually, radiates fragrance, and and to such an extent that both, Krishna and you cannot stay without each other. It's such a, maddening relationship that ऐसे बोलते हैं ना कि वो relationship में पागल हो जाने का मन करता है कि मैं क्या करूं. And Krishna is also equally reciprocating कि मैं क्या करूं मेरे भक्त के लिए. And that is why if you see that when Lord Ram also went to, the forest, the whole of Ayodhya was, crying because they were so deeply attached with Lord Ram. Or in that matter, even when the Pandavas were there in the forest and they were so connected to Krishna, all of a sudden, when they really require Krishna, Krishna comes on the scene. Especially during the Durvasa Muni case, or when that instance during Durvasa Muni when he had come. From nowhere, Krishna just came to help Pandavas. Now, this is a committed relationship. Ki whenever, whenever, Krishna requires us, we are there. And whenever we require, help, Krishna is always there. So you might wonder that, okay, ठीक है, जब मेरी मुसीबत है तो कृष्णा आ जाएंगे. But how is it that whenever Krishna requires us, we are there? So Krishna requires us during those times when we have to set an example, right? And of course, Krishna requires us actually throughout our life. He requires us every minute. It's not like that he requires this minute and he does not require. No, he requires us every minute. So every minute I am thinking that what is this requirement of Krishna? And Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita in the end is saying Sarva Dharma Parityaja, and whoever is giving this particular knowledge to the yet to become devotees is very dear to me. Now this is Krishna's requirement. This is his urgent requirement. Ki, reclaim the fallen souls back again. And how? Then it can be done only through his devotees. He's relying more on us. I'm sorry I came back to book distribution, but I did not have a better example than book distribution. And it's the month starting for book distribution. So this is his requirement, because all his jivatmas are away from him. And he's very sad over there. He's very morose over there. And he's requesting that, you'll become dear to me. If you're now, this is Krishna's requirement. And that is why instantly everybody actually will move. Of course, initially we might not have that bhav that, oh, Krishna requires me, and this. But at least to start with, we want to please Śrīla Prabhupada, we want to please, our spiritual master. We start with that. And then, as and when we keep on, pleasing our spiritual master, as and when we keep on pleasing Śrīla Prabhupada through the parampara, automatically, actually, Krishna is, pleased. And his requirement is fulfilled. That yes. And we also know that we are not the doers. But it all starts with chanting the holy names of the Lord. Till the time I will not chant the holy names of the Lord, this whole, what do you say, this whole journey, this whole process, this whole relationship will not develop only, or will not, blossom only at all. So very important that while we are chanting, of course, this preaching I'm doing for myself also while I'm chanting. And very important that when we are chanting, see, when does a person feel like chanting? Let's understand that also. When he has sufficiently done Shravanam, tab wo Kirtanam karega. Right? Because chanting is Kirtanam, but first is Shravanam, right? So when he's hearing Prabhupada's lectures, when he's hearing his spiritual master's lectures, when he's reading, the books, whatever instruction is, that is why all the spiritual masters, Srila Prabhupada also wanted, Prabhupada said, I want all my students to read my books for at least 2 hours a day. At least 2 hours a day. Why? Because Prabhupada knows that when they will read his books, they are going to develop, they're going to actually, what do you say, Rishta banayenge. They're going to form that relationship with Krishna. And then when they hear his glories, then they will feel like chanting. So, when you chant, you feel like doing some services. When you chant, you feel like, reading, hearing. But if you don't chant and you hear, right? Uh, uh, so then what happens that when you don't have attentive, chanting, then hearing will also become neeras. There'll be no juice in that hearing. You'll not find any sweetness in that shravanam also. So everything, this whole science is actually revolving around chanting only. And most of our acharyas have given so much importance on the glories of this holy name. Nam Chintamani Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Nitya Mukto Purna Shuddha Abhinatva Nama Namina. So this Nam is Chintamani, touchstone. Whatever we will desire spiritually, that will fill it. In fact, material also everything will be, fulfilled. And Nama Chintamani Chaitanya. This holy name is full of consciousness. Chaitanya means Chetana. Vigraha. This holy name is the Supreme Lord Himself, who is fully conscious. Right? Nam Chintamani Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. This Vigraha is full of rasa, full of sweetness and sweet rasa. Nitya Mukto, Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukto. This is completely pure. And it is completely, liberated. It's not bound. Generally, when somebody's name is there, he's bound by something, right? But this is completely Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukto Abhinatva Nama Namina. Nam means the holy name, and Krishna, there is no difference between them. Abhinatva, they're non-different. So, this holy name of Krishna that is there, this holy name is so powerful. This holy name is even powerful than Krishna. Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatar. है ना? तो Kali Kale, in this Kali Yuga, Krishna has actually, come in his name form. Krishna Avatar. Kali Kale Nama Rupe. Naam ke roop mein means whatever energy, that all that Shakti that is there, Krishna is invested in his name form, in his name. So the name is even more powerful than Krishna himself. This name can give you everything you desire. This name can give you even Krishna. This name can give you Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī's service also. So, this is the glory of this name. So now, let's go a little ahead. When a man in the material world takes more interest in materialistic way of life than in Krishna consciousness, he is considered to be in a diseased condition. The normal condition is to remain an eternal servant of the Lord. Jivera Swarup Hoy Krishna Nitya Das. This healthy condition is lost when the living entity forgets Krishna due to being attracted by the external features of Krishna's Maya energy. This world of Maya is called Durashraya, which means false or bad shelter. See, this world of Maya, okay? When somebody is forgetting Krishna's name because he is attracted to Maya, but this Maya has a world which is Dur Ashray. Dur means bad, and Ashray means shelter. So, which is a bad shelter. One who puts his faith in Dur Ashray becomes a candidate for hoping against hope. You know, in the desert, if you're hoping that that shining sand that is there, it's water, and let me go near, and then you go near and you say it's a shining sand, that's hoping against hope. In the material world, everyone is trying to become happy, and although their material attempts are baffled in every way due to their knee science, they cannot understand their mistakes. That is why His Holiness Bhakti Brad Bhagavad Maharaj says that they're innocent in their ignorance. And that is why we should have compassion for these souls, that they're so innocent that they don't even realize that they're doing mistake after mistake after mistake. They don't even know that I have a relationship with Krishna. I have a permanent, eternal relationship with Krishna. And this poor soul, this innocent soul is thinking that I have a permanent relationship with my wife, with my children, with my parents, with my friends. Is that innocent? This is the way of the struggle for existence in the material world. If one in this condition is advised to take to Krishna consciousness and be happy, he does not accept such instructions. क्यों नहीं है? क्योंकि वो बंधना ही नहीं चाहता है. उसको लगता है कि भक्ति करना यानी बंधन में आ जाना. But see, when these rules and regulations were given to us, these rules and regulations, like four regulative principles, chanting 16 rounds, doing ekadashi and doing some services, these are some rules and regulations expected. But these rules and regulations are not there for us to bind. But these rules and regulations are given by the Shastras to help us to come out of the binded situation of life. ये भाव बंधन में बंधने के लिए नहीं है ये रिलेशन. ये भाव बंधन से छुटकारा पाने के लिए है ये rules and regulations. It's not there as to bind. It is actually there. It is there for us to open up. If somebody is shackled, then you open those shackles. We are shackled right now. We are shackled in this body. We are shackled with our mind. We are shackled with our senses. Everybody is binding us from all sides. But actually, when you get connected to Krishna and when you start chanting the holy names of the Lord, all these shackles will open up. That is why, see, when, where was I? I just forgot. God. There was a very nice analogy I wanted to give. It just escaped from my consciousness. Anyways, so if somebody is, so if we advise somebody, they are not able to take up to Krishna consciousness because they feel that, we'll be binded. People think that, oh, bhakti karna matlab sab kuch chhodna hai. मुझे तो अपनी इंद्र तृप्ति को छोड़ना नहीं है, मुझे अपने परिवार को नहीं छोड़ना है, मुझे they think that way. But I always say that no, just as you have time for everyone in your life, right? When you were born, you connected your mother. The first relationship was your mother. You have time for your mother, then father, then you have time for your father. Then your sisters, brothers, they came, before you or later than you. You have time for them also. Then when you went in school, you actually had friends. You have time for them also. In college you went, then you're working now, you have time for everybody, then remove little time for Krishna also. आपको कुछ छोड़ना नहीं है, आपको सिर्फ जोड़ना है. You don't have to subtract. You just have to add one person in your life. And that is Krishna. And I always give this example also. That see, if I give you a check which has 10 zeros, those who are CAs, they'll understand this more better. Or the Gujaratis will understand this more better. If I give you a check which has 10 zeros, how will you feel? You say, hey, no value only of this check with 10 zeros. Put some number at least before the 10 zeros, then it will have some meaning to that particular check. So, okay, then I will put, 1 or 2 or something. And immediately there'll be a smile on that particular person saying, wow, I've become a millionaire and trillionaire as such. He'll be so happy, if I give a check like this to somebody. Of course, I don't have. I'm just giving an example. But so immediately he feels happy. So till the time, Krishna has not entered my life. और जब तक मैंने कृष्णा को जोड़ा नहीं है, I've not added Krishna in my life, I'm a big zero. I'm a big zero in life. But the moment I add a number, the number one that is there, that is Krishna in my life. And when I add Krishna in my life, I become a hero. From zero to hero. And this is what we all have experienced in our lives, right? What we were previously, what we are, such a drastic, 360-degree, turn we took actually, almost that how, what we were, and at least I remember, I was an animal, I can tell you, before coming to Krishna consciousness. Only eating and sleeping and, moving around here and there aimlessly. But after we came to Krishna consciousness, our lives changed. This Krishna conscious movement is being spread all over the world just to remedy this gross ignorance. People in general are misled by blind leaders. The leaders of human society, politicians, philosophers, scientists are blind because they are not Krishna conscious. According to the Bhagavad Gita, because they are bereft of factual knowledge, due to their atheistic way of life, they're actually sinful rascals and are lowest among men. Namam dushkranta modha prapadyante naradhama. Maya aparita jnana. Maya aparita means abducted. Jnana. Asurim bhavim ashrita. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, who partake of the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. These people are the ones who don't surrender. Such people never surrender to Krishna, oppose the endeavor of those who wish to take Krishna's shelter. कभी कभी आपने सुना है क्या? I have done this, okay? I have done this to somebody before coming to Krishna. Hey, don't go there, huh? They are like, what? I had told that time, they said they Hare Krishna, Hare Rama people, they give drugs and, they give drugs and something I had told. Because of that movie which had come. So that was a little impression as such. So somebody is trying to take Krishna's shelter, you stop them also. When such atheists become leaders of society, the entire atmosphere is surcharged with new science. In such a condition, people do not become very enthusiastic to receive this Krishna conscious movement. Such a diseased person suffering from jaundice does not relish the taste of sugar candy. See, क्यों नहीं है? क्योंकि उसके पास, disease है. And when he is cured, then you say that, he is cured, right? So how is he cured? By chanting the holy name. However, one must know that for a jaundice, sugar candy is the only specific medicine. So if I have a particular disease, then उस disease के लिए एक specific medicine होगा. So that specific medicine right now for me is in my this disease condition of life, because I'm on bodily conception of life. That is my biggest disease at the moment. So what is the medicine? Chanting the holy name of the Lord. And this is the only medicine. There is no other prescription for this particular, disease. No other remedy for this disease. This is the only. You accept it, you don't accept it. If you don't accept it, then your disease keeps on continuing. Similarly, in the present confused state of humanity, Krishna consciousness, the chanting of the holy names of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, is the only remedy for setting the world right. Although Krishna consciousness may not be very palatable for a diseased person, उसको आदत नहीं है ना, he's not formed into that habit, so he might really not like it. Okay, why these devotees are telling me to chant, why these devotees are asking me to wake up early in the morning, why these devotees are telling me to do these aartis and bow down, and every time I enter the temple I have to bow down to this person and that person and this senior person and that senior person, and to Krishna 10 times. 10 times I exit the temple I have to bow down, and 10 times I enter the temple I have to bow down. उसको नहीं अच्छा लगेगा क्योंकि बेचारा बीमारी की अवस्था में है ना, इसलिए Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī nonetheless advises that if one wants to be cured of the material disease, he must take to it with great care and attention. One begins his treatment by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, because by chanting this holy name of the Lord, a person in the material condition will be relieved from all misconceptions. चेतो दर्पण मार्जनम, चेतना का दर्पण जो है वो साफ हो जाता है. Avidya, a misconception about one's spiritual identity, provides the foundation for ahankar or false ego within the heart. See, अभी हमारा अविद्या क्या है? The ignorance is that I am this body and not the soul. And whenever this ignorance का पर्दा जब हट जाता है, or the curtain, is moved, and he comes into light, right? So he knows that, oh, I am not this body, I am the soul, and I have a spiritual identity which is Sat, Chit and Anand, and I am Jiverupa Swarup Hoy Krishna Nitya Das. My identity is, I am the servant of such a glorious master who is so kind, and he's so broad-minded, and he's so merciful. So now when this particular person actually gets his spiritual identity, then उसका जो false ego है ना, वो true ego में convert हो जाता. अभी false ego मतलब क्या है? False ego means I am the master, and everybody, and I am the control, and everybody is at my command. That's the false ego. मैं और मेरा, me and mine. But when he will get the spiritual identity, he'll get true ego. He'll be very proud. I am the servant of my spiritual master. I am the servant of Krishna. That is true ego. Then he knows that this body is also not my body. This body belongs to my spiritual master. This body is actually a temple. And I am presenting this temple to my spiritual master. I am preserving this body very nicely. I have a bath daily. I'm very clean and neat in my in and out. Okay. Inside also and outside also cleanliness. Both ways, right? And then I'm presenting this beautiful temple at the lotus feet of my spiritual master. And that same temple is, given to, passed on to, the parampara gurus. and it reaches to the lotus feet of Krishna. Now this true ego, जब वो आता है, तो उसका जो है वो बल्ले बल्ले हो जाता है. The real disease in his heart is in the heart. So where is the disease? Disease is in the heart. If the mind is cleansed, however, see now sometimes Prabhupada is using heart and sometimes the mind, and both of them are almost the same. However, if consciousness is cleansed, mind, consciousness, heart, they all are like, synonyms. A person cannot be harmed by material disease. चेतो दर्पण है, चेतना का दर्पण अच्छी तरह से साफ होगा तो फिर से मलिन नहीं होगा, क्योंकि बार बार हम होली नेम लेते लेते ही जो है उसको साफ कर रहे हैं, उसको गंदा होने ही नहीं दे रहे हैं, right? To cleanse the mind and heart from the misconceptions, one should take to this chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. This is both easy and beneficial. By chanting the holy name of the Lord, one is immediately freed from the blazing fire of material existence. So, sansara dava nalalida loka, this whole material world is like a blazing fire. And immediately we get relief. There are stages of chanting of the holy name, the offensive stage, Nam Aprad stage, the stage of lessening offenses, Nam Abha stage, and the pure stage, that is the Shuddha Nam. When a neophyte takes to the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he generally commits many offenses. There are 10 basic offenses, and the devotee avoids these. He can glimpse the next stage, which is situated between offensive chanting and pure chanting. Glimpse of the next stage, Nam Abhas ke stage per aa jayega. When one attains the pure stage, he is immediately liberated. This is called Bhavamahadavani Nirvapanam. Nirvapanam means to get rid of it. As soon as one is liberated from the blazing fire of material existence, he can relish this taste of transcendental life. The conclusion is that in order to get freed from material disease, one must take to the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. The Krishna conscious movement is specially meant for creating an atmosphere in which people can take to chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. One must begin with faith, and when this faith is increased by chanting, faith is increased by what? Chanting. A person can become a member of the society. We are sending Sankirtan parties all over the world, and they are experiencing that even in the remotest part of the world, where there is no knowledge of Krishna, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra attracts thousands of men to our camp. In some areas, people began to imitate the devotees by shaving their heads and chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Only a few days after hearing the mantra, this may be imitative, but imitation of a good thing is desired. अगर आपको कॉपी करना है तो कोई अच्छी चीज कॉपी करो, right? So you can take inspiration and you can do the same activity. Some imitators gradually become interested in being initiated by the spiritual master and offer themselves for initiation. You see people, oh, she's wearing a sari and, he's wearing a dhoti. So people are inspired, right? Okay, I am seeing this lady wearing a sari every day. Let me also try wearing a sari. So chalo, see, in our Krishna conscious movement, these are Vaishnava etiquettes. Just as when you go to school, you had a uniform in school, right? And when you go to a particular office, then that office also has a uniform. You just cannot wear Bermudas and go to the office. You just cannot be in your night dress and go to the office, right? When you are catching a flight, even the flight crew has a particular dress code. So there is a dress code for every place that we go. There's a dress code for the temple also when we go. So, and when we go to the temple with that particular dress code, then we slowly get our spiritual identity. The dress code of the temple is dhoti kurta, and for women sari. Nowadays for women they have some gopi dresses also, but that is also still valid. Not that. But then, that particular atmosphere is a pure atmosphere that you're entering into. Some people enter, then that is why nowadays, all our ISKCON temples are banning people from wearing Bermudas, sleeveless dress, or, some people come with Bermuda and banyan on the top. Oh God, you're going to meet the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he is the Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He is the, master of all the 14 planetary systems. And what about 14 planetary systems? There are so millions and millions of, you can say Brahmandas. He is the proprietor. And you go to meet him, just with Bermuda and, banana, I feel so bad. For example, the same person, if he wanted to meet the Prime Minister, how would he go? He would go very tip top, na, basa mast, blazer, suit, coat, pant, penke, he would have gone. So that is a many temples. So this is a dress code. Externally, when we follow the etiquettes, then internally also will be purified. Our externals matter a lot to clean our internals. Right? If one is sincere, he is initiated, and this stage is called Bhajana Kriya. Then one then actually engages in the service of the Lord by regularly chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra 16 rounds daily, refraining from four regulative principles. By Bhajan Kriya, one attains freedom from the contamination of materialistic life. Contamination. What does this mean? Then he does not come in the loop of Pap and Punya. Now, all his activities are doubted towards Krishna. So, none of the karmas, what he is doing, is going to affect him. He no longer goes to a restaurant or hotel to taste so called palatable dishes made with meat and onions, nor does he care to smoke or drink tea or coffee. He not only refrains from illicit sex, but avoids sex life entirely. Nor is he interested in wasting his time in speculating or gambling. In this way, see, gambling, no. See, what is gambling? I tell in my IDC classes also. Gambling means, see what Prabhupada is writing over here, nor is he interested in wasting his time. So, sometimes people gamble with their time also. So much time people waste. No, nowadays YouTube pay, reels and they make faltu ka reels also. Really not useful just but to earn money. They are making reels and all, and other people are just interested in that particular person's life. And some people are interested in cricket and football and what all sports people interested. I remember once my mother was telling when we were small, and my father was a little fond of cricket. So my mother made one statement. बोले हारने वाले हारेंगे, जीतने वाले जीतते हैं. We don't get a single rupee. And over here, in those days, I think there is a full day, cricket match. Whole day, we spent just in front of that idiot box. That thing, actually hit my mind. That statement of my mother hit my mind so much that after that I stopped seeing only, cricket. I mean, anyways, पहले से भी मुझे इतना इंटरेस्ट था नहीं. Whether it's just like last minute के वो balls देखो, where last overs you see. ऐसा. But after that I didn't see that also. Only you come to know अगर फटाके फूटते हैं तो पता चलता है इंडिया जीत गए. फटाके नहीं फूटे तो जो है मतलब इंडिया हार गई. You just come to know, okay. Must be 1 second ka you got the news. In 1 second you get the news. What's the use of wasting that whole time? So people, they are gambling with that time also. And time is so valuable. His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, in one of his very many lectures, he has told this. Okay, but I remember in 2001 ka one Pune Yatra, the very first statement he made was such a bold, and I still remember that first line of his. He said that time wasted cannot be got back by spending millions and millions of dollars also. And I said, yes, what he's saying is correct. He gave an analogy. 5 minutes before wala time, can you purchase it and bring it back? And we said, no, we cannot get it. So people are gambling with their time. So with money also people gamble, but people are gambling with their time. So once, one reporter was asking, Prabhupada, he was asking that, Prabhupada, what do you do for your leisure? He's saying we are 24/7, we have leisure only. And I have told this many times also, maybe in my lectures, you must have heard this before also, that for us, we are leisure. Every day we in the morning we go for Mangala Aarti, we come back. We are, having so many festivals going around. Right? Recently, we are going to inaugurate our book distribution festival. For us, it's a festival only. It is a time where we all bond with each other. Otherwise, we are so busy with our lives that we don't get to bond with devotees at all. So then we have the book distribution festival. After the book distribution festival in January, we have the Pushya Abhishek festival. Then immediately we are, getting ready for Nityanand Trayadashi. After Nityanand Trayadashi, we are getting ready for Gaur Purnim. After Gaur Purnim, we are getting ready for Ram Navami. After Ram Navami, then, Narshing Chaturdashi. Narshing Chaturdashi के बाद स्नान यात्रा के बाद रथ यात्रा के बाद बलराम पूर्णिमा, बलराम पूर्णिमा के बाद जन्माष्टमी, then Prabhupada, appearance day, then my Guru Maharaj's appearance day, and then we have Sita Navami, and then later on we have after August month, then we are gearing up for Radha Ashtami. From Radha Ashtami, immediately after that we are gearing up for Dasara. Dasara ke baad we have Kartik. Kartik ke baad we have huge Rath Yatras organized everywhere throughout India, and then again book distribution month. कहाँ है हमारे पास तो आनंद ही आनंद है कितना लीजर है टाइम हमारे पास like every month is a festival for us every month every day every moment is a festival for us so Prabhupada is telling leisure ही leisure है क्या है problem हमारे पास तो हम लोग we are more happy in our festivals only and अगर आप मॉर्निंग प्रोग्राम में भी कभी चले जाओगे ना मंगला आरती में भी आपको लगेगा फेस्टिवल हो गया आज विल फील फेस्टिवल आफ्टर सो मेनी डेज लाइक इट्स लाइक दैट in this way, it is to be understood that one is becoming cleansed of unwanted things. The word anartha refers to unwanted things. Anarthas are vanquished when one becomes attached to Krishna conscious movement. When a person is relieved from unwanted thing, he becomes fixed in executing his Krishna activities. Indeed, he becomes attached to such activities and experiences ecstasy in executing devotional service. See, if you're doing something for yourself now, you will not be very happy. But if you're doing something for Krishna or his devotees, you'll be very happy. If you're doing something for yourself, why are you not happy? Because it is going to bind you. But if you're doing the same activity will be the same. For example, okay, I am a woman, so I will give you the woman wala example. I'm cooking. Okay. So there's activity can be that, wow, now I'm cooking and I'm going to, eat it. So I'm not, even after eating, I will feel very morose. अरे यार कुछ मजा नहीं आया खा के भी इतना अच्छा मेरा फेवरेट छोला पूरी मैंने खाया लेकिन मुझे कुछ मजा नहीं आया but if I'm that same activity today what I think I'll cook chola puri for the Lord. Many days say I have not cooked chola puri for the Lord. Let me cook for chola puri for the Lord. You cook with the great devotion, hearing some nice lecture or kirtan, and in a nice consciousness you are preparing that particular item, and then you offer it to the Lord, and then you take it at prasadam. Then your heart will be very happy. Why? Because all these senses ना इस senses के एक master है ऋषिकेन ऋषिकेश सेवया senses के master कौन है कृष्णा है so when you satisfy his senses automatically our senses are satisfied like you actually water the root of the tree automatically the branches and the fruits and flowers and leaves are satisfied right they get that nourishment similarly with us also when we satisfy Krishna's senses, automatically you don't have to endeavor to alag se satisfy, your senses or our senses. Automatically our senses are satisfied. And this is what he actually is saying that he's relieved from unwanted things. He becomes fixed in Krishna consciousness. He becomes attached to such activity and experiences ecstasy in executing devotional service. See, क्या होता है ना अगर हम कोई भी एक्टिविटी डेली करते हैं वो हमारा डिफॉल्ट मोड हो जाता है दैट इज अ डिफॉल्ट मोड यू वेक अप you have a bath and immediately your hand goes in the bead bar that's my default mode right now Or before putting anything in my mouth, I will always offer it to Krishna. That's my default mode, right? So person becomes, that, and then when he's experiencing ecstasy in executing vision, this is called bhava, the preliminary awakening of dormant love of Godhead. Thus, the conditioned soul becomes free from material existence, loses interest in the bodily conception of life. Sab kuch, people earn only for, for bodily, sense gratification. I'll earn more money, I'll get more money. More money means more sense gratification. Then again, I will earn more money, more sense gratification. But over here, he will lose. He will have bhav for Krishna. Of course, ऐसा नहीं होगा कि वो पैसा कमाना छोड़ देगा, but he will not be greedy. Right now, people are very greedy to earn money. If they have sufficient, for, their sustenance, still they want to, atya ahara prayasascha, and they want to do sangraha, 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 right? Thus, the conditioned soul becomes free from material existence, loses interest in the bodily constitution of life, including material opulence, material knowledge, and material attraction of all variety. At such a time, one can understand who the Supreme Personality of Godhead is and what his Maya is. Although Maya may be present, it cannot disturb a devotee once he attains the Bhava stage. This is because the devotee can see the real position of Maya. See, what he can see now, that Maya is standing behind Krishna. Maya, out of her humility, never stands in front of Maya or before Krishna. Okay, Maya will always be standing behind Krishna because she respects Krishna a lot. So anybody who is, bowing down before Krishna, Maya will not touch, because she cannot come only in front of and capture him. So Maya means forgetfulness of Krishna. Forgetfulness of Krishna and Krishna consciousness stand side by side like light and shadow. Shadow, पीछे खड़ी है वो, है ना? Krishna is light and Maya is behind. Yeah. If one remains in the shadow, he cannot enjoy the facilities offered by the light. And if one remains in the light, he cannot be disturbed by the darkness of shadow. By taking to Krishna consciousness, one gradually becomes liberated and remains in light always. See, he will not be in darkness. He'll always be in light. See, being in darkness means only what? That he does not have clarity. And being in light means he has pretty much clarity that what I want to do in my life now. I want to surrender to Krishna and I want to go back home, back to Godhead in this lifetime only. I want to please Krishna 24/7. By taking to Krishna consciousness, one gradually becomes liberated and remains in light. Indeed, he does not even touch the darkness. As confirmed in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna Surya Sama Maya hi andhakara. Yahan Krishna tahan. Jahan pe Krishna hai, tahan pe, wahan pe nahi Maya adhikara. Maya does not have any adhikar or the qualification, right? Krishna is compared to sunshine and Maya is compared to darkness. Wherever there is sunshine, there cannot be darkness. As soon as one takes to Krishna consciousness, the darkness of illusion, the influence of external energy will immediately vanish. Kitna acha bata rahe. So nice. Okay, let's go to the next shloka. So again, this, the holy name for glorification is continued in this shloka also. He says that Tannama Rūpa Charitadi Sukirtinanu Smrityo Karmena Rasena Manasi Niyojya Tishtan Vraje Tat Anu Ragi Jananugami Kalam Nayedakhilam Miti Upadesha Saram. So he says that, Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī says that the essence of all advice is that one should utilize one's full time, 24 hours a day, in nicely chanting and remembering the Lord's divine name, Tan Nama Rūpa Charitadi. Nama Rūpa, transcendental form, Charitadi means qualities, and eternal pastimes. Thereby gradually engaging one's tongue and mind In this way, one should reside in Vraja, Golok, Vrindavan Dham and serve Krishna under the guidance of devotees. One should follow in the footsteps of the Lord's beloved devotees who are deeply attached to his devotional service. So here is the catch actually. This is the important line over here. This is the important line over here. That one should follow in the footsteps of the Lord's beloved devotees who are deeply attached to his devotional service. For that, let me just check, okay? I was not able to find His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu's PPT on this, but for this 8th shloka, I do have the PPT. Okay, let me just share the PPT with you. So, what Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī is saying in this, I hope everybody can see the okay. Since the mind may be one's enemy or friend, one has to train the mind to become his friend. The Krishna conscious movement is especially meant for training the mind to be always engaged in Krishna's business. Engaged in Krishna's business. Now, why does Srila Prabhupada, I'm sorry, just lost it. Why does Srila Prabhupada say that this is Krishna's business? And the mind should be, engaged in, always engaged in Krishna's business. Because this mind is meant to serve Krishna. And till the time the mind is not engaged in serving Krishna, the mind will trick us again and again. And let's go ahead and see. Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī advises devotees to train their minds in order that they will be unable to remember anything other than Krishna. So this is a very high level ka, statement which Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī is making. And he himself was in that. And even when Prabhupada is writing this purport, so these acharyas, the Goswamis, they were 24/7 remembering Krishna. 24/7 they were Krishna conscious. Srila Prabhupada also. And then reside in Vraja and follow the footsteps of Lord's dear devotees who are deeply attached to his devotional service. So see, what is the recommendation that is being given is, one thing is to train the mind to be always engaged in Krishna's business. Secondly, to train the mind to remember Krishna always and never forget him. And third is, he is advising us to reside in Raja. See, residing in Raja is a state of mind. Physically, yes, if you have all the, what do you say, what desire, it's an intense desire to go and reside in Vraja, okay, you can go and reside in Vraja, right? But residing in Vraja is a state of mind also. वृंदावन तो इलास्टिक की तरह है ना, जैसे खींचोगे वो चला आएगा आपके पास, right? Currently sitting over here, if I start imagining Radha Shyam Sundar's, beautiful form, I am in Vrindavan right now. Abhi mein, that is why the Krishna always considers present tense. यहाँ पे लगे present verse. Present tense है. अभी मेरा मन कहाँ है? Where is my mind right now? Is it reeling that, okay, when will she finish this lecture? And when will, she... I hope everybody can see the PPT. Can
No,
everyone see?
Mataji. Can't
Oh,
see.
okay. Let me do one thing. Just go. Sorry, just forgive me for shuffling the PPT. Now you're able to see the PPT?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. I understood. When there's a green border means the PPT is same. Okay. So reside in Vraja and follow the footsteps of the Lord's dear devotee. See, residing in Vraja means what? Man se bhi hum reside kar sakte hain. As I told you that if I'm just imagining, Radha Sham Sundar ka beautiful form, Krishna Balaram, Gaunitai, Srila Prabhupada Samadhi Mandir, and all the Goswami temples, every day morning we can, visit all the temples and we can come back again. Every day we can reside in Vraja. But to reside in Vraja means what? Means only to follow in the footsteps of those Brajavasis or the pure devotees of the Lord who are very much attached to the Lord and his service and his devotion or his bhakti, right? So that is the meaning of to reside in Vraja. You might be sitting in US, you might be sitting in Dubai, you might be sitting in Australia, you might be sitting in Hyderabad, you might be sitting anywhere in the world. But your mind can travel. There no ticket also required. No flight ticket, no train ticket, no bus ticket, nothing. You can automatically, without ticket, you can travel with your mind to Vraja. But going to Vraja or residing in Vraja means only following in the footsteps of those Brajavasis who are very dear to the Supreme Lord. And they are very attached also. That is the actually real meaning of residing in Vraja. The Krishna conscious movement is especially meant for creating an atmosphere in which people can take to the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Okay. So now these texts 8 to 11 are all Raganuga Bhakti, Bhava Bhakti, and Prema Bhakti. They're transpooling. So from Raganuga Bhakti to Prema Bhakti. Spontaneous devotional service in which the devotees follows in the footsteps of one of the eternal associates of Krishna in Vrindavan, that is Raganuga Bhakti. Okay. It is essential to train the mind to remember Krishna throughout our life so that we will not have to take birth again. the mind of the conditioned soul is receptible of the impression gathered over many lifetimes. And when these impressions clash, they produce psychological imbalance. As explained in the Bhagavad Gita, whatever state of being one remembers at the time of death determines one's next birth in the body, yam yam vapi smaranam tajeti ante kalevaram, in a body and situation corresponding to our last thoughts at the time of death. Now, somebody might really think that, see, if I'm in coma and if I just die in coma, mera kya hoga, right? I'm sorry. Or if I meet with an accident, or if I'm hospitalized and I'm not able to remember the Supreme Lord at the time of death, then will I go or not go? So, see, Krishna has not put a rubber stamp on this. आखिरी मिनट में तुम याद करोगे तो ही. It's not a rubber stamp. If throughout your life you have you have served the Supreme Lord, you have very dedicatedly chanted, served the Vaishnavas, and you have followed everything very nicely, then Krishna says in the last minutes, I will come and I will enter forcefully in the mind of that devotee and I will force him to remember me. What does that mean? I will force him to remember me. See, at the time of death, there will be devotees around him who will help him to remember Krishna. Krishna will send these devotees. We know the very famous case when see, there are two cases actually in Srila Prabhupada's disciples' lives. Okay, so one is Surbhi Prabhu. Okay, so Surbhi Prabhu was a sannyasi, and Prabhupada had said that anybody going to anybody so sorry. This is actually I'm mixing two cases. With the Surbhi Prabhu, what had happened is that he was the architect of Krishna Balaram temple. Okay. And because previously he had done the Juhu temple and all, so then that is where Prabhupada said that this time you are going to design also and you're going to build also. So with architecture, he is actually constructing also. But after Prabhupada left, Surabhi Prabhu also actually left the movement. And this is right before his death, okay? He was struck with some disease and he had come to Delhi for his treatment. And somehow or the other he came in contact with Srila Prabhupada's disciple, and Srila Prabhupada's disciples invited him for the 40th anniversary of Krishna Balram temple. They said that, why don't you come? We are celebrating the 40th anniversary and you've been a very crucial part, a very important part in the construction of this temple. So, and I was there, that time. This was, I think, 2015 ki baat hai. In Vrindavan. And Surya Prabhu gives his offering and everything very nice, And a month later or 2 months later, actually, Surbhi Prabhu actually leaves his body in Vrindavan itself. Where he had drifted away, where he came to Delhi with that particular disease he came. Maybe Krishna gave that disease so that somehow you can say that those dots could be connected. And he comes to Delhi and he meets the devotees and see, fag end of his life, somehow the other, Guru sends devotees, Krishna is sending his devotees, and he actually died in a very good consciousness. And Prabhupada told that all these my disciples will go back home, back to God because they have assisted me. Guru comes, Krishna comes. So we should have that faith that yes, if all my life, if I have served my spiritual master, at least after taking initiation, I'm talking about, that I have been very dedicatedly serving, my spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, and all the acharyas and Krishna, then definitely Krishna will make that arrangement. That firm faith we should have, and we should not fear our death at any time. The purpose of the Krishna conscious movement is to train our minds to be always engaged in hearing about Krishna. We should keep on hearing. The more you hear about a particular person, you start developing strong attachment towards that particular person. Like how Rukmini, she kept on hearing about Krishna, so much strong attachment that she said, if I marry, I'll marry this man only, otherwise I will not marry anybody. I want only him as my husband, otherwise nobody. That strong attachment we will have. The more we keep on hearing his name, form, qualities, as one can engage the mind by first engaging the tongue in chanting the holy names and tasting prasadam. So, these are suggestions been given, and these suggestions are really good suggestions because, millions of people have tried these suggestions and they have got some good results. So, first, पहले तो टंग को चैंटिंग में लगाना है, एंड टंग के दो फंक्शंस है, वन इज चैंटिंग एंड वन इज टेस्टिंग ओनली कृष्ण प्रसादम. By actually tasting Krishna Prasadam, all our senses automatically become satisfied. These senses, no, which have the habit of running here and there, in all directions they want to run, they will become very shant, cool, calm ho jayenge. They will be anchored to the lotus feet of Krishna. And they will want to serve the master. See, senses के master कौन है? भगवान ही है. तो उनके मास्टर की ही सेवा करने के लिए उनको आनंद मिलेगा. They would again and again want to serve their master. Furthermore, Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī advises that one should live in Vrindavan or any part of Vrajabhumi, take shelter of the advanced devotees there and constantly engage in thinking of Krishna and his pastimes. So all the time, see, what is Rupa Goswami advising is, he's saying that you should live in Vrindavan. I told you before also, residing in Vraja is a state of mind. But how will we come to that particular state? We come to that particular state only when we take guidance from advanced devotees who already are in that particular state. One who is experienced badminton player, when you take guidance from him, you also become an experienced badminton player, right? Similarly, when we take guidance from an advanced devotee, then we also will be constantly engaged in thinking about Krishna, right? So there are two stages of absorption over here. Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī is saying one is the Vaidhi sadhana bhakti and one is the Raganuga bhakti. Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur advises that one who has not yet developed interest in Krishna conscious should give up all material motives and train his mind by following the progressive regulative principles. तो क्या एडवाइस दे रहे हैं कि जिसने अभी तक रुचि नहीं है कृष्ण भावनामृत में, one who has not developed taste in bhakti, actually should give up all these material motives. Material motive, I want to become this, I want to become some MLA, I want to become some minister, I want to become, heroine, I want to become a hero, I want to become a billionaire, all these material motives. Side mein rakh do bhai. ठीक है ना? And train his mind by following the progressive regulative principles, namely chanting and remembering Krishna and his name, form, quality, pastimes. अब देखिए, progressive regulative principles बोल रहे हैं. The word is progressive. So when you chant, you will progress. If you don't chant, you will not progress. So, and when you chant the name will, help you to remember the form. The name will slowly and gradually will अपने आप ही भगवान का रूप आपके सामने आ जाएगा. And then his qualities and then his pastimes. Like that. So these instructions apply to those engaged in the process of Vedani Sadhana Bhakti. Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur. Sorry, did I say Bhakti Vinod Thakur over here? I'm sorry. Where it was Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur goes on, he says, after developing a taste for such things, see, निरंतर कोई एक चीज हम लोग करते रहते तो उसमें टेस्ट डेवलप होता है, राइट? है ना? वरना टेस्ट स्टार्टिंग में तो डेवलप नहीं होता है. In the beginning there is no taste. As and when you keep on and on, see, and this particular activity of chanting and remembering, these are not mundane activities कि हम बोर हो जाएंगे. नहीं, these are spiritual activities. And these spiritual activities will uplift us and not degrade us. Baki mundane activities will always degrade us. And immediately we get bored and frustrated. But these spiritual activities are such that as and when we keep on doing the same activity again and again and again and again, you will develop taste. You will develop attachment. You will develop faith. And then after developing such a taste for such thing, one should try to live in Vrindavan and pass his time constantly remembering Krishna's name, fame, pastime, and qualities under the direction and protection of an expert devotee. Now, this is very sadhana bhakti. Now, let's see what is Raganuga. Okay. Raganuga bhakti can be executed in any of the 5 rasas: Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhurya. It entails following in the footsteps of a confidential associate of Krishna under the guidance of an again expert devotee. So, see, for example, okay, let's take this example that, I decided that I want to actually, constantly remember the Lord, name, form, pastimes, and all, and I have come to that particular level. Assume. Abhi nahi hu main. Let's assume, but okay. In mathematics, let x value be, so, and y value be so. So let's assume that abhi filal jo hai, um, I want to settle in Vrindavan, and I want to constantly remember Krishna and his name, fame, and qualities and all. But after going to Vrindavan, means even before going to Vrindavan, if you have to settle down also na, तो आपको आपके गुरु की permission लेनी पड़ती है. If the guru feels that you qualify to reside in Vrindavan, he'll say yes, go. Bindas. Otherwise, sometimes what happens, immaturely somebody goes and resides in Vrindavan. So then, he falls down even from that normal position also. And ये हो जाता है कि he is like he quits chanting also. So when he takes the expert advice from his spiritual master and says, okay, yes. And then from time to time, he keeps on taking advice. Now, Maharaj, what can I do? Maharaj, what can I do? So then, dheere, then, he starts developing a relationship with Krishna under the protection of an expert devotee, his spiritual master, Shiksha Guru, and many other devotees. But one person, in why one person? Only because that particular person knows your psychophysical nature. That's why he knows that what will uplift you and what will, make you dejected as such. That is now slowly, as in when you're, doing this, constantly remembering and chanting, name, fame, pastimes, and qualities of the Lord, then slowly you'd start developing a relationship with Krishna. That no, I am a servant of Krishna, Dasya Bhav. Oh no, Krishna is my friend. You are my friend, and you are my Suridam Sarva Bhutanam. You are my ever well-wishing friend. So then you make Sakhya Rasme, you know, you build a relationship in that Sakhya Ras. Or you think, oh, Krishna is my Lalla, he's my little sweet child, and now he needs this and he needs that. So Vatsalya. But even in these 5 rasas, फिर भी आपको guidance की जरूरत है. So again, following in the footsteps of a confidential associate of Krishna under the guidance of an expert devotee. So for example, somebody is in Vatsalya Ras, then he should follow Mother Yashoda. He should try to serve Mother Yashoda. You might say that Mother Yashoda is not here in Vrindavan. Physically, where will I find her? But she's in the spiritual world and she will guide you, because if you want that Vatsalya Ras ka, pinnacle, you want to reach to the pinnacle of Vatsalya Ras, then you follow in the footsteps of Mother Yashoda, right? But under the guidance of an expert devotee. Again, why? Because we don't want sahajiyas. We want sahajiya means, who's trying to make an artificial show. I'm Mother Yashoda, and they decorate themselves. See, bhakti is all internal. We don't need to make any external show. If you go in Vrindavan, you see that somebody is, in the bhav of Mother Rādhārāṇī and Kṛṣṇa, and they, wear also those costumes like that only. But our affair with Krishna is an internal affair. It should not be publicized. Public नहीं बनाना है अपना रिलेशन भगवान के साथ. जो कुछ भी है मेरा भाव जो है वो अंदर है मेरे भगवान के लिए. जो कुछ भी मेरा रिश्ता है वो अंदर है भगवान के साथ. So अब आप बताइए ना, if a girl has an affair with some boy, Will she go around and, loudspeaker में बोलते रहेंगे, hey, I have an affair with this guy. No, it's a very private affair between the two. चुप चुप के मिलते हैं, चुप चुप के सब कुछ, घूमने जाते करते. No, that is this they are private. They don't publicize it. Or even a husband and wife, their bedroom matters are their bedroom matters. They don't actually, make it public, right? Similarly, Maya and Krishna's relationship is a very private affair. And I will not in any way, bring out all those emotions outside. All my emotions will be inside with Krishna. And that is why every time Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī is advising us under the guidance of an expert devotee. How to train the mind? From very sadhana bhakti perspective, give up all material motives and desires, firstly though. Engage in the regulative devotions according to the directions of the scripture. Follow the progressive regulative principles, namely chanting and remembering Krishna. Then one has developed taste and attachment. He can try to live in Vṛndāvana and spontaneously serve Krishna's lotus feet. That is, take to the path of Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. So again, it's a recap from Radha. Then one should reside in Vrajna, if not physically, then mentally. This is what I was saying. Under the shelter of an advanced devotee there, absorbed in the remembrance of Krishna and his associates, following the footsteps of a particular associate under their direct eternal guidance and shelter, that is, be trained in their particular service. If somebody is in Vatsalya Bhav, how will he assist Mother Yashoda? How he will serve Mother Yashoda? All those emotions, that way. This method is applicable both in the stage of sadhana and sadhya. Sadhana is the marg, path, and sadhya is the goal. See, sadhana and sadhya. Sadhana means what are the means? Sadhya is the goal, right? So I always say, यहाँ पे भी हमारी sadhana and sadhya are the same, वहाँ पे भी वही है. यहाँ पे भी श्रवणम कीर्तनम विष्णु स्मरणम, गोलोक में भी श्रवणम कीर्तनम विष्णु स्मरणम है, correct? Okay. What is the difference? Okay, this is text 8 and we are on text 8 only, and here is the difference between very sadhana bhakti and ragana bhakti. Devotional service must be without ulterior motives. Then material conditions cannot check it. What a powerful statement this is. कि कोई भी मलिन इच्छाओं से नहीं होना चाहिए. भक्ति निस्वार्थ भाव से भक्ति करना है. No doing banyagiri, or you can say no, don't try to. What does Prahlad Maharaj say? That I am not a merchant. I'm not a merchant that you give me this and I will give you that. No, it is, selflessly done. So that is why then when it is done without any ulterior motives, then all these material conditions that are there, external conditions, even internal conditions, then it cannot check devotional service. मतलब कोई रुकावट नहीं आएगी हमारी भक्ति में. There will be no stoppage. Gradually, one can rise to the platform of spontaneous loving service. A child is sent to school by force to receive an education. But when he gets a little taste of education at an advanced age, he automatically participates and becomes a learned scholar. One cannot force a person to become a scholar, but sometimes force is used in the beginning. Nowadays, I know one of my, cutie upper KG child, he daily cries to go to school. Daily cries to go to school. And but parents force him to go to school because they know it's for his good, right? So a child is forced to go to school and read and write according to the instructions of his teachers. Such is the difference between Vaidhi Bhakti and spontaneous Bhakti. Beginning may we are forced, but as and when we progress, okay, and when we get a little taste of education, then automatically what we do, very swabhaviki, or it's there in my nature, it is actually my default mode that I want to do bhakti every day, every minute. In fact, I don't want to waste a single minute, right? So this is actually Raganuga Bhakti. Vedic sadhana bhakti, initially there will be a little force, but as in when we get taste, then Raganuga bhakti is automatically, we have love for the Lord. So, Prabhupada is saying over here, chant 16 rounds, follow regulative principles, follow 64 regular principles in NODs, study and discuss Prabhupada books with devotees, Bodhayantama Parasparam, our 10.8 shloka, Bhagavad Gita. Develop Shastra Chakshu to see the world, sing Vaishnava songs and shlokas with knowledge of meaning. Oh, this is very important. The E wala is so important. I'll tell you why. Because these Vaishnava songs will actually train us to develop a relationship. It means किस तरह से हमारा रिश्ता होना चाहिए भगवान के साथ. And some shlokas are such, you can say that heart melting shlokas that are there. Especially those shlokas which describe the lotus feet of the Lord, or those shlokas which describe the relationship between Krishna and his devotees. When we recite those shlokas, very nice shlokas, these are some of, favorite, they become your favorite shlokas. You want to go around telling everybody those shlokas and the meaning of it. Request your senior devotees to award you Krishna Seva and do them. See, Krishna Seva is awarded. What a powerful statement this is, that they award us Krishna Seva and then we do them. Pray to deities begging for Seva opportunity and for spiritual progress. Accept all favorable items in KC and reject whatever is unfavorable. Always keep your mind and senses absorbed in relation to Krishna. Such powerful, statements these are. These are all what Vedi Sadhana Bhakti का impetus है. ये सारे गुरु के orders है. This is all what actually our spiritual masters want. It's not only my spiritual master, but all the spiritual masters want the same. Prabhupada, in fact, wanted us to do all these things. That is why, if you see, Prabhupada has sung many Vaishnava bhajans. And so many, shlokas he's repeated time and again. Okay, let's see next. Sadhana Bhakti, devotional service in practice. Krishna conscious is natural and not an imposition. Fire covered by ashes, child and mother, because the child or the mother has a natural love or a natural inclination towards the child, and the child automatically has a natural inclination towards the mother. Magnet and nails, automatically, when the iron and magnet automatically. So I am like iron, Krishna is like magnet, and immediately when I come close to Krishna or the magnet, my rust of lust immediately, vanishes. So immediately I get attracted to Krishna. Or the child's innate walking ability. So KC is my default mode, and I have this innate natural inclination towards Krishna. By the sadhana bhakti, there is no natural attraction, and inspiration for practicing devotional service comes from scriptures. Tasma dekena pi upanayena mana Krishna. So orders of the Guru, So when the spiritual master is giving orders, at that point of time, then Vedi sadhana bhakti mein, and then slowly क्या होता है कि automatically then, as in when you follow the regulative principles, then they become your default mode, and when the inspiration of practicing devotional service comes from a natural attraction to pleasing Krishna, तो ऑटोमेटिकली आपको लगेगा, हर बार आप बोलेंगे अच्छा कृष्णा को ये अच्छा लगेगा, कृष्णा को वो अच्छा लगेगा, कृष्णा को ऐसा अच्छा लगेगा, like that. Okay, so essence of Vedic sadhana bhakti is what? Always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. Smartavya satatam Vishnur vismartyo na jatu chit sarve vidhi nishedahas Sure, ityor eva kinkarah. Some of the other always think of Vishnu without forgetting him under any circumstance. Actually, this is the most basic of all regulative principles, that always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. Hai na? Remember Krishna and beg for Krishna seva. Then engage your mind and senses in doing the seva all the time. Your senses are engaged in service of Krishna. So from Vedi to Ragana Bhakti, one has to learn to use a typewriter by following the regulative principles of typing the book. One has to place his fingers on the keys in such a way in practice but when one becomes adept, he can type swiftly and correctly even without looking in the keys. One more example I'll give you. Harmonium hai na, harmonium. So starting में you will see okay the harmonium. But as and when you become expert without looking also, you will keep on, singing in your own, magna avastha mein, and then you are playing the harmonium, right? Similarly, one has to follow the rules and regulations of devotional service as they are set down by the spiritual master. Then one can come to the point of spontaneous loving service. This love is already there within the heart of everyone. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema. And spontaneous service is not artificial. It is very natural, right? So if you see, all examples are given away. Yashoda's love for Krishna, Devki's love, Kunti's love for Krishna. These are all spontaneous, you know, that way. So now he's giving, actually, just give me 1 minute, okay. Okay. So now he's giving actually an example of NOD chapter number 15. That what is Ragatmika Bhakti, perfect spontaneous, practice. So he's performing sadhana with the aspiration to attain the mood of a specific perfect devotee. Like I'm performing my sadhana that I want to actually, attain the mood of Mother Yashoda or Sridham Sakha or, Stoka Krishna or any of the, devotees or, Gopi Bhav, maybe, that way. And the devotee perfect in spontaneous, then such a devotee are eternal residents of Vrindavan, who spontaneously love Krishna in a specific relationship. So Ragatmika Bhakti is the perfect devotional attachment found in the residents of Vrindavan. These terms we should know, ki it is the perfect devotional attachment found in the residents of Vrindavan. ये क्या है? रागात्मिका भक्ति की बहुत ही परफेक्ट डिवोशनल अटैचमेंट है, और ये अटैचमेंट किसमें दिखाई देगा? केवल ब्रजवासियों में ही दिखाई देगा ये अटैचमेंट. एंड रागानुगा भक्ति इज द प्रैक्टिस ऑफ डिवोटी who aspires to develop their mood. So one is actually attachment found in the residents of Vrindavan, है ना? Perfect devotional attachments which is found in the residents of Vrindavan. And then Raganuga Bhakti is what? Is the practice of a devotee, keeps on practicing and who's aspiring to develop that mood of Mother Yashoda or Sridham Sakha or, Madhumangal or anything, any of these Sakhas as such. Okay. So definition of spontaneous devotion in practice, as mentioned in the beginning, Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti is an advanced practice intended to cultivate the service mood of an eternally perfect resident of Vrindavan. Ragatmika Bhakt, right? तो रागात्मिका भक्त के पास भी जो है प्रेम है भगवान के लिए, बट वो ऑलरेडी वहां पे पहुंचा हुआ है, और मैं जो यहाँ पे हूं अभी तक उस अवस्था पर पहुंचा नहीं हूं, मैं रागात्मिका अवस्था तक नहीं हूं. आई हैव नॉट रीच्ड रागात्मिका लेवल, बट by cultivating the service mood of this, Ragatmika Bhakta, then I will also one day become a Ragatmika Bhakta. So when I'm following, I'm a Raganuga Sadhana Bhakta. But when I reach that, then I'm a Ragatmika Bhakta. The basic qualification for spontaneous devotion in practice is a very strong desire to serve Lord Krishna in a specific relationship. One can obtain this desire by hearing how eternal residents of Vrindavan spontaneously serve Krishna in various loving moods. When does eligibility manifest? The strong desire, lobha. Lobh hai, overwhelming desire in one's heart to please Lord Krishna in a particular way. In any other desire, if any other desire shares the heart's attention, one does not fully possess lobha. If anything else is there. Therefore, one does not attain lobha until he has removed the unwanted material desires from the heart. जब तक अनर्था नहीं complete होते हैं, anarthas don't vanish away, then this lobe is not attained. Once anarthas are completely vanished, then this person becomes, lobhi or lobe. Strong desire, जिसको कहते हैं. Generally, this means one must be past the stage of anartha nivritti. We must always remember, however, that such eagerness to follow in the footsteps of the denizens of Vraja is not possible unless one is freed from material contamination. In following the regulative principles of devotional service, there is a stage called anartha nivritti, which means the disappearance of the material contamination. And then above the regulations are what? These Raganuga devotees do not follow the regulative principle of devotional service very strictly, but by spontaneous nature, they become attracted to some of the eternal devotees, such as Nanda, Yashoda, and they try to follow in the footsteps spontaneously. This does not mean that Raganuga Bhakta neglects the regulative principles. This is very important. See, regulative principles he is following because he is in the material world. Till the time he does not go over there, in fact, there also he is following. And certain regulative principles he follows here and he follows there also. It means that their inspiration to serve and surrender is not dependent on the regulative principles and scriptures because it comes automatically from their spontaneous affection for Krishna. See, Raganuga Bhaktas don't need to bow down to the Lord because they are in spontaneous, or the Ragatmika Bhaktis, but still they bow down to the Lord. Why? Because over here Raganuga Bhaktas bow down to the Lord because that is the prescribed regulative principle that has been given by the spiritual master. Srila Prabhupada says that when an advanced, realized devotee hears about the affairs of devotees of Vrindavan in the mellow of Shanta Dasi Sakyan, he becomes inclined in one of these ways and his intelligence becomes attracted. Indeed, he begins to covet that particular type of devotion. When such covertness is awakened, one's intelligence no longer depends on the instructions of the Shastras or on logic and argument. तत्तद भावादि माधुर्ये श्रुते धीर यद अपेक्षते नात्र शास्त्रम न युक्तिंच तल लोभपत्ति लक्षणम. Three practices of spontaneous devotion of Raganuga sadhana bhakti is: one is remembering Krishna with a particular devotee. Means you remember Krishna with Mother Yashoda or with gopis or with his sakhas as such. And then remembrance, he's remembering, but he's mentally living. He might not be able to live in Vrindavan physically, but he's mentally remembering. And then remembrance to internal and external service. So when you're doing some service, internally meditate and mentally follow the activities of their siddha form, and externally follow their sadhaka form, means how they chanted, how they ate very less, how they slept very less, how they preached. These are all external. And be aware of surges and reject the misinterpretation of Siddha Pranali. So Siddha Pranali is a big misinterpretation. Sometimes somebody, you see this person. Okay. He's in a male body, but he's wearing this chunari and everything, and she is a female, but she's wearing some dhoti kurta and she's dancing. So these are all. Siddha Pranali is a process of initiation where one is given details of a particular manjari form to be used for internal meditation in the practice of Raganuga Bhakti. Srila Prabhupada notes that this is often given to those, it is given to those, printing mistake, often given to those who have not yet undergone anartha nivritti and whose external behavior is not at all according to the regulative principles. Therefore, he strongly rejected this practice. Abhi tak, we are not following the regulative principles so properly or 100%. That is why Prabhupada has rejected this. And if Prabhupada has rejected this Siddha Pranali, Prabhupada in every way is actually, Ragatmika Bhakta. He can pull us up. So we don't need these external things, And performing activities of sadhana. So what is activities of sadhana means all these 64 items. Smelling, bowing down to Tulsi, doing parikrama of the temple, doing parikrama of Tulsi, or taking the Charnamrita, or taking the paraphernalia, garland of the Lord, right? And knocking the door, bowing down to the spiritual master, bowing down to Krishna. All these are 64 items of very sadhana bhakti. We keep on practicing them. We don't give them up. And we follow these regulative principles even if we have come to Raganuga Bhakti level, right? And ऐसा नहीं है कि okay, now I am Raganuga Bhakta, I will not do my chanting, I will not do my hearing, and I will not, this. But no, he will not abandon the Shravanam Kirtanam process, but he will focus on chanting, or hearing and chanting topics that are specifically nourishing his particular service mood, right? So, for example, I am a book distributor. I will focus more on, hearing how, people distribute books and, and that way, like as such, like, okay. Srila Bhakti Thakur is recommended as follows that one has not developed interest in Krishna consciousness should give up all money. Okay, why is this being repeated again and again? Same is being repeated again and again. Naam Shravan, Charita Shravan, and Gunadi Shravanam. So, three types of hearing. One is the hearing of the name, that keep on hearing the name again and again. So, in Garud Puran, there is an example that a snake bite cured by mantra, therefore, Hare Krishna Mahamantra should be chanted. So, we are also being bitten by the snake of time, no? So, again and again, we keep on chanting. And Charita Shravan means hearing about his pastimes. Then we become very much freed from shoka, moha, and bhaya. Okay. And Gunadi Shravanam means what? That we are hearing his qualities. When we are hearing such qualities of Krishna, whatever is, a Bhadra in my life, that will be completely cleared off. Okay. So it's been expanded over here. Shastra Sevanam, studying the scriptures, is very important. So, spontaneous devotions in which devotee following the footsteps of the eternal associate. So, Tulsi, beloved of Krishna, we are bowing down. See, why do we do Tulsi Maharani? The other day, in which class I was telling that Tulsi Maharani is actually a Ragatmika Bhakta in the spiritual world. We in our homes have two pure Ragatmika devotees in our house. One is Srila Prabhupada's books or Srila Prabhupada himself, and we have Śrīmatī Tulsi Maharani, right? Then Tulsi Sevanam, to do have so much of Tulsi Seva, 10, item 10 was to respect living entities were related to the Lord, like the banyan tree, the cows, the brahmanas, and the Tulsi. And we have to do this Tulsi Seva every day. Because just by seeing her, by praying to, by bowing down, by hearing about, or by serving the Tulsi tree, there is always auspiciousness. So, how to, okay, let me check. That's lots to say actually. So, now this is again a revision, training the mind and, bad habits, getting away with bad habits and getting away with conditionings, some good conditionings, that you're punctual for programs, we don't eat too much, very moderately we eat, or, making the mind a friend, right? That way. So, okay, we just stop over here. Somebody has any questions, queries, doubts, feel free to ask me.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Mataji, you had in seventh text you mentioned some nama chintamani, like some
Yeah,
the
I'll that shlok, Prabhuji, I will post it from where the sources and all. I'll just write it down. Give me 1 minute.
And you tell that 3 stages in chanting. One is offensive stages. You give some another name to that nama bhasha.
Nam aparad, nam abhas, and Shuddha Nam, Prabhuji.
Nama
Nam aparad, nam
yeah,
abhas,
Nam abhas.
nam abhas, and Shuddha Nam.
Okay. Then 8th number, Mataji, I'm sorry, I'm taking your time.
No, Prabhuji, you can definitely.
The difference, what you mentioned in for Vedic sadhana badni is in Guru's order and scriptures has to be followed. And in Raga Anuka Bhakti, it is practicing devotional service and some.
Yeah, under the guidance of an experienced devotee or an expert devotee.
Okay. So only practicing devotional service comes under Raga Anuka.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah. Anybody else has any questions directed for us? Okay, so we stop for the day. Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī ki jai. Hare Krishna, Hari Bol. We'll meet next Saturday.